The biggest mistake you can make when booking accommodation in Asia is choosing a hotel. Why? Because for the price of a small room in Europe, you can have something like this. Welcome to Malaysia, where for just under 240 ringgit, which is about 200 zloty per night, you get an entire apartment in a modern skyscraper just a stone's throw from the center of Kuala Lumpur. The apartment itself is great, but it's the free amenities and the location that really make the magic here. Come on, I'll show you everything inside. We've already entered this apartment. Let me just turn off the kettle so it doesn't buzz. Now I'll show you what it looks like for 240 ringgit. Here is a small room, apparently made for children. Just in case, this apartment accommodates 6 people. Here we have the bathroom, here the parents took the bedroom, so this isn't the master bedroom. There's air conditioning, there's the balcony, and here's the living room. Now let's move on to the master bedroom. And it's called the master bedroom only because it's a bit bigger and has an ensuite bathroom. And here it is. This bedroom is small compared to what we bought over there, let's say, but we'll go out onto the balcony in a moment. It's starting to thunder. The advantage of an apartment over a hotel is obvious. Instead of a cramped room, you get 3 bedrooms, a living room, 2 bathrooms, and a fully equipped kitchen. That gives you freedom and comfort, especially when you're traveling with family or friends. The living room is quite nice, but I like the balcony because it's big. You can definitely say it's a large balcony. Let me come over to the other side. This is the main bedroom, the master bedroom. You see, it's solid. You could have a barbecue here. Right now we're on the 30th floor. It's not super high. Of course, the one we bought, like I said earlier, is on the 34th floor plus 8 floors below. So we have 42 floors in total. It'll be much higher. But the view here is generally, you could say, not bad at all. You see, there are small houses. Nothing is really blocking your view here. Look, there's an awesome storm coming over there. And that's what it's like to live in a tropical country. Look over there, the sun is setting. What time is it? I'll tell you soon. Let's get it in focus. It's 33 degrees, it's around 16:30, a few minutes past. And I think right here, it will also be shown down here at the bottom once we get it in focus. I think sunset will be at 19:03, so we've got plenty of time. But it's probably the clouds from over there that covered it up, and that's why it got so dark. Down there you can see the monorail, so everyone really wants to be near that monorail because it's really cool, fast and agile transportation. Over there you have one monorail station. What else can you see here? Down there you can see some shopping areas. We'll explore the surroundings in a moment. Yeah, it looks nice. It's not sunset yet, but that red over there, or actually orange, looks pretty good. One of the secrets of living in the tropics is the weather. Powerful storms pass as quickly as they appear, and right after them, the sky can treat you to a spectacular sunset. The rain here has nothing to do with the cold, dreary autumn drizzle in Poland. It's a very warm and relaxing shower. It feels like standing under a huge natural shower in a spa. We went up to the 43rd floor and we want to see what's here since we have access. And it's nice. There's some kind of court here, probably for pickleball or something like that. And over there, that's what the view looks like from the 43rd floor. Look, some kind of structure. Oh, camera, don't fall. It's not that high. I know, 43rd floor, but look, it's not super high. However, this still seems high. There's a game room there, some cool stuff. Oh, I see a treadmill. People are doing some yoga there. The windows are a bit reflective, so we won't intrude on anyone. But you see, it's just a gym. But the real magic of a place like this isn't in the apartment itself, but in what you get included in the rental price. Most modern apartment buildings in Asia have something called a facilities floor, which is a floor with amenities for the residents. Something like this isn't considered a luxury here, but actually a standard. A gym with a view of the city skyline, a yoga area, sometimes even a game room or a co-working space, and all of this is included in the rental price. This amazing building towering over the city is Merdeka 118, currently the 2nd tallest skyscraper in the world, right after Burj Khalifa in Dubai. The view of it from the pool on the 43rd floor is exactly what I call an experience. The chance to swim in a place like this at sunrise, when the city is just waking up, without crowds, without tickets. This is your private observation tower. We snuck into this pool so we could see how the construction is going over there. However, I probably can't really jump over this, but I'll extend the camera a bit so you can see a little more of how the construction is going. And here's a quick explanation for those of you who are joining us for the first time in this episode. The real reason we rented an apartment right here is this view of the construction of our future home. That's right, in the previous 6th part, I told you the whole story behind this decision. If you want to see how it all happened, from the search to the visits to the show apartment, you'll find the link to that video in the description. We only got in for one reason, just because someone else wasn't granted a loan. And we just took it. I mean, we were looking anyway. Look how many beautiful apartments there are. Different ones, bigger, smaller. We wanted something new. Just like that, I mean, we were looking for something second-hand, but there was nothing that satisfied us. So we managed to get it. For now, we're very happy. Whether it works out, I mean, how they finish it, we'll see. But the construction is going on, the parents will drop by sometimes. Well, 2 more years, right? 2 years is still a lot of time, and I hope they'll manage to finish by then. Of course, there's a warranty, the company that's doing it. Basically, some developer has been delivering very well for many years, so the developer is reliable. Everything has been checked by the bank, it's checked and secured. So there are no scams here, like for example in Cyprus, where scams are very common. So if you buy an apartment in Cyprus, you'll get nothing. Although a few people did get something there, we were there, we visited, we saw those scams, and we decided not to go for it. Besides, Cyprus, a terrible mess, dirty, a complete lack of civilization in northern Cyprus. Of course, I'm saying the southern part is awesome. But I'll take a look, get up, go in, and see a bit more. We had a rooftop pool with a panoramic view of the city, and here on the 9th floor, a private park was waiting for us. The guy, basically the owner of this apartment we're renting for tonight, wrote that we can visit not only the 43rd, which is the top floor with the pools, but also the 9th. And so we're wondering, what's on the 9th, right? Well, you can see what's on the 9th. There's something like this, and over there, there's something for kids. But from here, my friends, we can see our whole Aurum residence, which is built over there, and from here we really have much better access. It turned out that the 9th floor is even better for us than the roof. From here, you can clearly see the neighboring Serena residence and the entire construction site of our future Aurum estate. It's an amazing feeling to stand here and look at the foundations of something that, in 2 years, will rise another 40+ floors and become our home on the other side of the globe. They are only just about to start building Block B, so there's still a lot of work ahead of them. But you know, here in these countries, things like this are built faster and better than in Ireland, where houses are made of wood and everything creaks. It's a disaster. When it comes to that, the quality is much higher. That's why, in fact, this A was just under 900,000 ringgit, right? That's actually very expensive compared to the other standards here or the other prices, because you could easily buy an apartment of similar size for 550, 600,000, even in Kuala Lumpur. But we really wanted a nice standard for it to be low density, meaning with a low population density, and that's exactly what we wanted. We have 3 elevators, 4 apartments, and 3 elevators, so it's not like the apartments are packed one on top of another. There's really a lot of free space. You saw for yourselves when we toured the showroom that every bedroom had huge windows, from floor to ceiling, spanning the entire width of the wall, not some cramped little rooms where some bedrooms or kitchens don't have any windows at all. Here, every room has its own window, every bathroom has its own window, the kitchen has its own window. The living room has huge ones. So basically there's a view in every direction, and the sunset is slowly approaching Kuala Lumpur. I think I'll go over there in a moment. No, it's nice here. Someone just jogged by. I'll head over there, maybe away from the crew. Someone was just jogging here a moment ago. Oh, I'm on the grass. Look, artificial of course, and I think all these leaves here. I don't know if they're real. I'll show you in a moment. No kidding, this is real, but actually it's not surprising because it's humid here every night, so despite the high temperatures, everything grows beautifully. It's a nice place for a walk, it looks beautiful here, there are some elegant little trees. Oh, you can even lie down on a hammock. This is what these neighborhoods look like. In Asia, in Poland, I don't know. I've been to the Palace of Culture a few times. My dear sister worked there for a couple of years, on one of the top floors, so greetings to all the employees. There was some institute or something, and I still follow the crew. Check it out. Here you can come, sit down comfortably. There are some sofas, cushions over there. Maybe I'll show it this way. You can come here with your laptop. If you're missing a garden, your own little garden, this is a subtle one. I won't say it's an escape from the city because I don't want to say it's an escape from the city since we're in a big city, but that's the point. A laptop with long battery life. You can come here, work, sit, lie down, or take a nap. Now it's nice and cool, 30 degrees, but since we were sitting in the air conditioning, I cooled down a bit. I'm not dying anymore, but it's sunset. Oh, and I think we're getting close to the field. I'll get a bit closer now. You don't have to leave the building to walk on the grass, read a book in a hammock, or, as you can see here, work with your laptop outdoors. That's exactly the philosophy of escaping the city without actually leaving the city. We joke that the monorail must be broken since it's just sitting there. Take a look here at what these local houses look like, probably from the garden below. Of course, it doesn't look as beautiful from above, but these aren't some kind of slums with metal sheets like it was in Vietnam. They're just apartments. People here don't really pay that much attention to how they live. Some care more, some care less, but evening was falling, so we had to end the day in a truly Asian style with a big family dinner. We went to a lively local restaurant that was recommended to us by Uncle. Sharing a feast together at one huge rotating table is the essence of the local culture. The menu immediately caught our attention. Notice that next to the most popular dishes, there was information about how many thousands of portions had already been sold here. In my opinion, that's an absolutely brilliant idea. Among other things, we were tempted by number 1 on the list, which was sweet and sour pork served on ice. It was a real feast, from mild vegetables with lotus root to insanely spicy chicken, after which I was left with just a pile of chili peppers like this. After a lively and filling dinner, we went for a short walk. After all, an evening like this couldn't end without dessert. We ended up at a place called Chivit Chiva, which, as we later found out, is a popular chain straight from Thailand specializing in bingsu. Its base is finely ground, frozen milk that looks like fresh snow and creates something like a delicate milk punch. On top of that, there are fantastic toppings, from pandan cream with croutons to intense Thai tea, all the way to classic chocolate. After spicy, fiery food, such a cold, delicious dessert is the perfect way to end a day in the tropics. At the very end of the day, right before going to sleep, we couldn't resist one last trip to the rooftop, and it was a perfect decision. Kuala Lumpur at night is a completely different city, full of lights stretching all the way to the horizon. Standing here, you can really feel the power and energy of this metropolis. It was the perfect way to say goodbye to this city, because the very next morning we're heading to completely different, much quieter regions. Good morning, my dear friends. It's after 8 o'clock, it's Monday, and as you can see, life in Kuala Lumpur is in full swing. But we're heading down for breakfast. Of course, we don't eat breakfast. Our parents have to eat breakfast, but we can definitely enjoy some local coffee here instead of having something at home. And since today is relatively our last day in Kuala Lumpur, we're only here for this one day, we decided that I'll do a Saily test in a moment to see how it works here, because right after breakfast we're heading to the mountains, to Highlands. Here, we're using Saily very intensively, because even in the apartment we're staying in, we didn't get the Wi-Fi password, and honestly, I don't want to bother the guy about it anymore. And since I still have plenty of data, I might as well use it. Let's launch the speed test. You see, we're on 4G+, it's about to start, and we're on the 30th floor, so I'm not sure if the signal will be better or worse here, honestly, with this kind of density. We can see that the speed is about 5 megabits. I thought it would be more, but let's see how it is with uploading. It's already running. For a moment it was 160. I don't know if the speed is somehow artificially limited here or something, but as we can see, we have about 5.5 megabits. It's a really crowded city, more so on that side, I mean on the other side. And I don't know where the transmitters are, but as we can see, it's definitely good enough for vacation use. How much data have we used? We should probably refresh it actually. Well, we still have 225 out of 5 gigabytes left and only about 3 days, I think. After testing the internet, we went for breakfast. We ended up at Hong Fu Lu, a place specializing in dim sum, which is a traditional Chinese brunch. The whole secret is that dozens of small portions in bamboo baskets are brought to the table and you mark what you want on a special form. It was supposed to be just coffee, but it turned into a hearty feast. We tried, among other things, siu mai dumplings, fluffy bao buns, fried radish cake, and the famous Portuguese egg tarts. It's a perfect example of how simple plans can turn into the best unexpected experiences when you're traveling. The morning reading from the 30th floor wasn't very impressive, and although such speeds are enough for holiday use, the real test was supposed to be checking it on a busy street in Kuala Lumpur. Unfortunately, the results here weren't the best either. Before I started getting irritated, I remembered a simple trick. I turned off the eSIM card in the phone settings for a moment, waited a bit, and then turned it back on. The result? Well, see for yourself. The speed increased tenfold. So remember this, because this simple trick often restores fast and responsive internet. But okay, we're leaving behind the hustle and bustle of Kuala Lumpur and heading onto the winding mountain road leading to Cameron Highlands. After just a few dozen minutes, the landscape changes beyond recognition. The first stop on our route is the Latta Iskandar waterfall, a popular spot where both tourists and locals stop to take a break and cool off during their journey. We are at an altitude of 403 meters at this moment. And there's a really nice waterfall here. There's a small, I wouldn't call it a town, but just a place where you can buy a few things, some souvenirs. There's a flowing stream, as you can imagine. It's a bit cooler here already, slowly, well, at 400 meters maybe not that much yet. But this whole region, that is... So Cameron Highlands is famous for the fact that locals, and of course tourists too, escape here from the heat. From the scorching city, the whole Cameron Highlands is located. It starts, you could say, from 800 meters up to 1600 meters above sea level. We're only at 400 right now, but it's already quite nice. On the way, we actually saw some monkeys. Not many, because they don't always come right up to the road. You'd have to go deeper into the forest to see more. There's a little dog over there. Behind me, next to me. Can you see it? You can't see the dog. Okay, never mind. It's too bright. I can't even see the screen myself. Or really anything at all, so... I'll show you a few cutaway shots so you can see what I'm seeing here. We met a local skink here. Probably a sun skink, which was basking on the wet rocks of the waterfall, but our presence scared it away. I'm just taking off my shoes and I'll try, maybe not to dive in, but just to step into this water. The best way to deal with the heat is, of course, to take off your shoes and dip your feet in the refreshing mountain water. It's a wonderful feeling when the coolness spreads through your body. It's simply priceless. The rocks may not be particularly slippery, but in places like this, you still need to be especially careful. We're walking up these little steps to the top of the waterfall. I wonder what's up there. What's up there? Well, the top of the waterfall, right? There are steps, and on the steps it says that under no circumstances should you go up here when it's raining. So far, after just a few minutes of walking, I've already started to sweat. Unfortunately, that's how it is here, but it should be cooler higher up. And that's why we brought the sweatshirts we wore when we traveled from home to the airport in Dublin. So, at these 400 meters, it's still hot and humid. Without the sun, it's a bit more pleasant, but now we're heading back down. It's definitely worth visiting here, at least stopping by when you're passing through. You need to plan your route, because if you just go, it kind of catches you by surprise, right? There are a lot of turns on this road. Suddenly there's a turn and you already have to stop, so when you're driving here, you really have to be very careful. But Latta Iskandar is not just a waterfall. Right next to it, along the road, there's a row of small stalls, many of them run by the Orang Asli, the indigenous people of this land, for whom the jungle has been home, pharmacy and pantry for centuries. It's right here, not in the tourist shops in the city, where you can find real local treasures, from handicrafts to fruits we never even knew existed, to natural medicines. Come on, let's see what interesting things we can discover here. A banana is just a banana, but look how it compares to my hand. And I'm not that small of a guy, am I? Here we buy something that is all deep fried. But I have a feeling I'll eat it all up. This is the jackfruit, and here it's fried like this. This is the jackfruit. We'll try it, because I've had it dried. It's delicious. Here is cocoa. It's something like cocoa. Probably everyone has eaten chocolate or come across it. That's where cocoa for chocolate comes from. Who thought it looked like this, huh? We bought a magnet and we're leaving the store. Dad says it's actually a plant. It looks like someone's head. Well, let's say. We're already getting into the car. Look here, some banana trees just growing freely. As they say, not bad, not ugly. Alright, they've started it. One of the snacks we bought at the stall is kakang rebus, which are boiled pistachios. These have nothing to do with the crunchy nuts we know from Europe. They are cooked for hours in brine, which makes both the shell and the nut inside incredibly soft, and their taste is more earthy and slightly salty. It's a simple snack for the road and a completely different take on what a peanut can be. Personally, I prefer crunchy roasted peanuts, but these are definitely worth trying too. And well, we're snacking on them in the back of the car while the dense tropical jungle surrounds us on all sides and we're climbing up toward our travel destination. We're already at an altitude of over 1200 meters above sea level, and the temperatures here rarely go above 20 degrees. And the first thing that greets us at the top is this amazing iconic view of green tea fields stretching all the way to the horizon. But is Cameron Highlands just about tea? No, absolutely not. In the next 8th episode, I will take you on a journey through this extraordinary region. We'll see gardens full of flowers and other tourist attractions. I'll reveal to you which of these places are cleverly set tourist traps and how not to get ripped off here. I'll try lavender-flavored coffee so you don't have to. I'll also taste real, local fruits like this one, which tastes a bit like a mix between a plum and a cucumber. I'm sure you've never eaten anything like this before. In the next part, you'll also see what happens when you rent an apartment below the average price. I'll give you a hint in 3 words. Mold, ants, and a strange smell. All of that in the next episode. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. You're very welcome.